was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. There ain't no room for things to change when we are both so deeply stuck in our ways. You can't deny how hard I've tried. I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. It's gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids on the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Na 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 na. Oh, I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there's some with no home not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A widow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Na 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 na. It's gonna feel real good, yeah, 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 yeah. Na 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 na.
Starting with the man in the mirror. What a song, huh? That brings a whole lot to my soul, I tell you that much. I couldn't have asked for a better intro song than that one, right?
I'd have to agree.
Yes, it's those were two really good songs that I went through my little song list, and I thought, yeah, I like that. We're gonna hook that up. It sounds like the way to get started. I see it takes a little bit of time for people to come on once. That's why I like to play the music and then let people start rolling in, and they'll be coming in. We had a couple, excuse me. So I just kind of take it easy, just kind of smooth into it, so that people can catch up. Not sure who's here with us. And then there's also, remember, we're on different networks. So this is just showing what's there at Twitch, who's viewing, but it's also live, I believe, on Twitter, Spotify, and those places. So, hi guys, and welcome to Matt Dupree's podcast. It's been a while, and so just like everything else, my nerves are kind of frazzled. Lucky enough, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I have been wrong before, but yes, everything seems to be in order. I could see Nick, and I could see my audio is kicking. Today I have a special guest, like I just said, and it's Nick Marchetti.
Marchetti.
Marchetti. Okay. It's Italian, isn't it?
It's Italian, so the CH is a K.
Marchetti. From San Jose, California. Nick is an operations manager for a digital realty company there in the Silicon Valley. Today he is here to share the fear behind the excitement of his upcoming surgery. And we will get to some insight of how the trans community share and grow from each other's experiences. So please get ready to be enlightened. Okay? But first, let's get to the disclaimer and get it out the way. I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a therapist of any kind, nor do I or my guest have any education in those fields. However, I am an expert in my own life and the many experiences I've had throughout my journey. Okay? And then before I get started, I did want to say this, right? Most of you people who have followed me for some time have heard me say this at least once, if not every time I tell a story or share my journey or experiences. I always hope that my story reaches at least one person, that it might touch one person who needs to hear that message. Then for me, it's worth it. That's what makes it worth it, right? Meaning just putting myself out there and being completely transparent and vulnerable. I will share with you a message I woke up to on August 3rd, 2022 from Nick. Now, Nick and I, we have had conversation before, maybe a year or so ago. Not quite, but after I had undergone my top surgery, we had corresponded in Messenger. I didn't really know Nick, and I'm just getting to know him as we have bonded through these experiences in this journey. So this letter I woke up to said this: exciting news for you. Because of your bravery and story, I have finally gotten a date for top surgery. September 23rd at 10 a.m. Thank you for your being and for sharing your journey. You've given me the confidence to move forward in becoming who I've felt I was since I was a small child. I'll keep you updated on my progress and touch base before surgery. Thanks again. That was a Thursday morning, okay? And as I read this out loud to my wife, just as we were preparing to leave to go to work that day, it choked me up. It touched me in a place in my heart so deep. And it was overwhelming. And I felt that overflowing of happiness and joy for someone I knew very little. But this was huge. It was a firm affirmation that someone is watching and listening, and sharing my story has helped someone, right? At least one. That it's not all for nothing. When we share these stories, folks, we are vulnerable, right? We're showing our vulnerable side. We are showing we're transparent, right? And those are things that sometimes could be your worst enemy. It's heavy, right? It is, very much so. So, help me welcome Nick Marchetti. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
How's it going, my friend?
It's going well.
Good. So, let's talk about some of this stuff. How you doing today, brother?
Doing well. I'm nervous, but I'm doing well.
Oh, well, you didn't see none of my nerves, did you? They're shining bright. Oh, wait up. So, let's talk about it. But in the start here, so that we get it right, what are your preferred pronouns?
He, him.
He, him. He, him, his. And right this second, in this moment, as we're sitting here chatting, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now, being here, talking about this subject out loud with me, but knowing there's going to be a lot of people who are going to listen in on this?
Honestly, I feel blessed. Blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah?
Blessed to maybe share my story and be in your one day and get that message that I sent you, and just one person, and it's all worth it. I'm blessed.
And I am blessed. I am blessed to have you here and to have you and to be a part of your journey. Let me just say that. And to have a little bit of a foothold into where I know you're journeying to right now here in a few days. So it's big and it's exciting and it's all those things, right?
It is. Yeah.
It's been a long wait, hasn't it?
a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about this, about yourself, that I didn't already mention.
um, so I've known for a while who I am inside. Taken a lot of time for acceptance, though. It's weird. You wait for the world to accept you, but the world accepts you, and you're not accepting it,
Right?
and so it creates a little bit of uncertainty everywhere. And when you're not confident in the world, you know as well as I do, the world can be a cruel, cruel place. And just like an animal, it can sense fear. It can
Yes.
sense. It can also sense, you not being 100% confident in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was expecting the world to accept me when I wasn't fully accepting myself. And watching you helped me. It helped me because I had let so many years go by. Came to a point where I said, you know what, I'm too old now. It's done. I'm halfway through my life. Or let's just let's just accept it and move on. And I came to a point, watching you so many years, and watching you even before you started your transition, just be
Wow.
yourself and be so confident, and it was amazing. And then when you went through, which what you started in your journey, it was like, wow, you guys
Yeah.
got it together. You got it
It's,
figured out.
I didn't. Not to disappoint you, but I didn't. It's like you. Honestly, it's like most all our guys, our community, we've talked and I listen and I watch what's being put out there, and we just kind of figure it out as we go.
Hmm.
We know who we are inside, and it's like, how do we take that step outwardly, right? And
Yes.
how is that going to affect the people I love and the people who are around me, people who've seen me like that, who knew me as that? And
Hmm.
as you said, you have followed me before the transition, and you knew
Hmm.
what I look like and how I sounded, and and now all these things have changed and it's all different, and every day it's different. Every day there's something new, I find. I don't
Yeah.
know about you, so I'm gonna ask you some questions.
All
Um,
right.
how old? You said you knew for a long time, but so can you remember about how old you were when you first realized that you were different, or your mind and body didn't kind of match?
I think when I realized that puberty was not gonna mean that, um, Frank, that my balls were gonna fall, because they weren't. I realized,
Your balls moved upwardly, didn't it? Wait a
sure,
minute.
sure.
Like, what happened? Hold on.
I really thought that miraculously something would grow. Oh, and it was a very trying time to learn that, fourth, third grade, you have this anatomy, and this is what's going to happen. Wait, I don't feel
Oh,
like that.
to me? Hold on, we need to back up. Yeah.
Exactly. And for me, it hit me hard because I had my first crush on a girl when I was in kindergarten, and learned that I would now have to live this life that, you know was told, oh, well, you're lesbian. I'm a what? No, I'm not.
Right? But okay, if that's what gets me in with the girls, okay, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
I had that
So
discussion.
fourth grade is, and I realized, man, stuff is just all messed up and just not right.
Mm,
Yeah. And then, as the years went on, like I said, you get called a lesbian and told that you're just a lesbian.
right. Because then some kind of ways or somehow sexual orientation becomes what they see. Oh, well, like I had this discussion earlier today with Michelle Maxheimer, was, you know, you go with it, but inside that's not your identity. That may be what people see me and categorize me as, because being in this body, right? It only makes sense. But knowing all along that the word never fit, it just didn't, and I wasn't like those folks. Even the butch ones, even the dykey ones are, the masculine dykes, and what they call stone cold, right? Butch. It was more than that. It wasn't the label, it was the identity. And
Yep.
and so I get that totally, because I think that's a part of our identity crisis, that a part of that, just a small part, that we had to kind of navigate through, right?
Mhm.
To be able to finally get the courage to say, this is who I am, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it may not be the most flattering identity or term, but it is, unfortunately, all we have to be identified as, from inside living out. So I embrace it. I suggest all my trans brothers and sisters embrace that fact that we are. It doesn't set us apart. It doesn't make us better or less. It just makes us different. And what I've come to finally learn and accept in life is that different is okay.
Definitely.
I like different. Right?
For sure.
So you were in third grade, so you were probably around 8 or 9, right? Somewhere in there, which is young, and which you probably knew even much earlier than that, but that's when you realize that, hey, whoa, wait a minute, probably in some sex ed shit talking about in school.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, are we in for a treat?
Yeah.
So moving on into the question I have for you. So how old were you when you decided to take the steps to transition? Or have you? Other than what we know is coming up.
Good question. So, the first question is, when did I decide? That would have been 2 years ago.
Okay. So you would have been about 42-ish. I believe you're about, I think you're 10 years.
41.
Yeah, because you're like 10 years younger than me. I saw your birthday 78, I'm 68. So, so yeah, so you're young yet. You still got plenty time to be a young
Yeah.
stud muffin, right?
That's right. That's right.
There you go. Hey, what you are a good looking guy, I might say. And all my viewers are going to be happy to see I have this handsome young man on this, and you are great energy, right? I should have played that song. Good, that energy song. That's a whole other thing. My face will turn red in a minute. But okay, so the second part of that question, if you remember, or have you?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
decided to start taking steps about 2 years ago, and
However, it took a long time for those steps, and it started with letting my family know,
ah,
right? Because
that's
I
the
didn't
big
want
one.
to. Yeah, I didn't want to start steps without telling the people closest to me what they were about to, travel with me, because the fact of the matter is that everybody's going to go through it, not just us. It's also our family.
They're on that journey.
Yeah.
I lost sight of that, but you're right. You're smarter than me, my friend.
Yeah, they're definitely on that journey with us. So that's where it started, and
How did that go over?
it was well received.
Good.
Dad were just as expected. They were hesitant, and what does this mean? They're uneducated, and to be expected, not something that was in time, or even something that they research now. So it was expected to be of what's coming, and scared.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it wasn't the same reaction that I would get from my friends and other family members would finally.
Ah, duh, right?
Yeah.
But our parents is tough, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Parents,
there's a lot there,
there
emotions
is.
and what they're used to, and
Mhm.
we all have come to realize that the older we get, the more set in our ways we are, and the less or the harder it is for us to kind of be swayed into, especially into something this in depth. And like you said, education is key. And folks, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're here today. And that's
Mhm.
why we're having these conversations, and it sometimes comes to you hard, right? And anyone watching my podcast or watched me live knows I'm gonna bring you the truth, and I'm gonna bring it to you real, and sometimes it's hard. But I come with some facts because I go to my old buddy Google's, and he tells me exactly what I need to give you the information so that these folks can grow and understand what it is and how difficult it is to have lived this life. So your family, that was going to be one of the questions. I'm glad we're getting that now and out, because that's probably where you do want to start, is with your
Mhm.
family and building that support group, right?
Right.
And that is our main ones, is our family. That's our lifelines. So you said it all kind of, it's just educating, and then your friends. And so anyone close to you, have you had a disconnect or feel like a little rough patch with them so far through this
I've
outing?
been lucky. I've not.
You've been lucky. That's a good
Very.
thing. Well, then
There's a
that
lot of us
means
that aren't.
you're right. You're right. And I'm one of them, because I've lost a lot of people. Lost a lot of people. Uh, some of them, I don't know. I have friends who they're the L, and that's fine. It's disheartening to see that most of those who disconnected from me were part of the rainbow. So, and it is what it is. But I feel I can't miss something I never had. So I move right along, and that's
Yep.
okay. We gotta accept that, right? One thing, I lost some of my some family members who they just disconnect, but uh, luckily no one in my immediate circle, so that's a good thing. But today is about you, so let's get on. Your family, your friends are all as your tight support group, and that speaks a lot about you as a person, right? So,
Sure. Sure.
and I must say, you would do great being able to get into something like this and having a forum to be able to help our younger community coming up behind us, because at some point, I'm gonna have to pass the torch on, and you're gonna have to pass it on, and it's all about us networking and sharing our experiences together, that even bonds us tighter, right?
Yeah.
Build
Absolutely.
stronger, tighter bonds, lasting relationships. That's what it's about. Okay, so let me ask you, what was the first, besides your coming out to your family, what was the first thing you did in your transition?
I went to the doctor and I said, "Get these things off."
Boom, out. They got to go.
Out. Yep. Come on.
Okay, so we're stepping it here. That's where we're gonna start. Okay, and that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no right or wrong way to start. You did the hardest part by getting your network, your family, and your friends
Yeah.
on board. You're coming out. That's the hardest part of our transition, is
Mhm.
getting our family first to know, so that they are with you. You know who's on board, who's not, and then you letting your friends know, whoever didn't already know,
Right.
and so then you're gonna go on Friday. So when did you have your consult for your top?
I had my consult about 7 months ago, and my um, went out on maternity leave,
Okay.
which gave me some time to. Um, I had a goal. I didn't want to go into surgery at the weight I was at, just because I've heard some,
Okay.
stories and
Well,
read
you
things.
look lean. Wait a minute. You look like you're in good shape.
It took a lot. It took a lot. But
Really?
oh yeah, I've completely done an entire diet,
Wow.
lifestyle change, work out 6 days a week,
Good for you. Healthy
Yeah.
living.
healthy living, and it's not only improved my well-being, and it's obviously going to improve my surgery, but it's also improved my lab works as far as my kidney function, my liver function, my A1C levels. So it has been a complete lifestyle change.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing by itself, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was glad that and that she was going to be out for a while, and that it was going to be this. Some people say, "Oh man, you're going. I need the surgery now." And I was hoping to give that time, and the universe allotted that time to me, and I didn't take it for granted, and it was as best I could, and I worked as hard as I could. It's not easy to change our relationship with food, especially in our culture. Food for everything. Celebrate
Oh,
depression.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, everything.
exactly.
Oh, what happened? The dog got neutered. I need popcorn. I need candy bar. I need a fig bar. I need some. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see, so
Right.
there's been a lot of transition and lifestyle change in myself. But yeah, it was about 7 months, 8 months that I had my console. Actually, it had to have been longer. It was out for. Oh no, she was months. It was about 7 months.
Now, who you said was out on maternity?
My surgeon.
Oh, your surgeon. Okay, I missed that part. Somehow we had a little glitch. I heard something about maternity. I was like, what?
Yep, yep.
What do I
No,
wait?
no.
Is there another question I'm supposed to ask? Hold on.
That was my surgeon. She was
Oh.
out, but she's now. So obviously, you have to go through the psychiatric department before they refer you to a surgeon. And yeah, my consult was about 7 months ago.
Okay, and so that's what was one of the questions. Were did you have to bring for this procedure? You had your consult, and did you have to show documentation from your doctors, a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist?
Yep.
One or two, or just one.
Just one therapist, and sent the referral for me directly to the surgeon. So she was already aware of it, so I didn't have to go through that process of trying to get medical record transferred and this and that. He sent it right to her, and it was a very, very smooth transition. Another thing that I'm blessed at, because I know go through a lot of paperworks and trying to get people to approve, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any trouble at all.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another rubber that meets the road, right? Is you have to or you have to be, your insurance has to approve these things, and and that is why you need some really good doctors who know how to write really good letters, right? So fortunate for you, you had a great doctor who was able to write that letter, and I have a great doctor who also wrote some good letters, and they're gonna be writing me some more letters, but this is a whole other day for a whole other subject. It's not today. Today's shoot. So let's talk about the surgery's coming up Friday.
Yeah.
So let's stay right there for a moment. Right now, I see that smile. I see that. Uh, Tell me what it's feeling like to you right now today. Tell me what you're thinking. If you have fears, concerns, thoughts, questions, let's talk about it, because there's going to be somebody out here listening who probably is waiting for you to hit that one question or concern that they're having. So what is it? Could probably name them all, but it's not my story. This is yours.
Yeah, there's obviously concerns and fears, and obviously aesthetic fears. God, how's it gonna look? So I'll let you in today. I requested a program for us to do with the dysphoria. However, I felt it was important to know what was inside there before I removed what's. And I was actually informed today and schooled on something. Cancer does not spread like wildfire when it's open. It's a myth. I thought it did.
Right.
And it doesn't. However, they did respect the fact that I wanted to make sure what was in there prior to getting in there and cutting.
Right.
I had my first mammogram last week.
Wow.
Very uncomfortable.
Your first ever?
First ever.
Wow. It's still the dysphoria, right? Ugh. I know.
The dysphoria, and it's the pain. And, you hear your mom tell stories about how uncomfortable it is and how hard it hurts, and had a lot of fear. And then the fear of that was pushed aside by, what if they find something and then I can't have it done? Then that whole thing went through, and I went in and I had a great, I guess she would be some sort of ultrasound technician, some sort of mammogram technician.
Mm-hmm.
She was fantastic. She made me feel very comfortable. She treated me as, and just like we were born in the wrong body, and she made it clear that she was very supportive and understanding and wanted to make it as painless as possible as far as emotionally goes.
Good.
So got through it. It was painful, and then I got the call of your worst nightmare.
Oh no.
Back in. Right?
I know that call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just when I live, and then you get that call of, wait, you just might be in a big roadblock.
Right. Oh, everything's going, right? A million thoughts. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
I didn't know this.
So I went in for my one today, and I was actually, and how they explained it was a cloudy day. A cloudy day is like the breasts, okay? Cloudy day, and sometimes airplanes hide behind the clouds.
Oh.
When they're referring to clouds, they're referring to the density of the tissue in the breasts, and when the tissue is dense, you can't see behind it.
Right.
And so it's not necessarily that they saw something; it was that they couldn't see something.
Right.
So they wanted to make sure that there was nothing behind that cloudy day. And
Good.
They wanted to make sure it was clear. So I was happy about their diligence.
Good.
I was cleared, and I was cleared to go into surgery. Yep. Got my
Congratulations on that. Yes.
So now we're back to other fears.
Which are?
How are my nipples gonna turn out? Am I gonna get dog ears? How many? Yes.
Right? It just depends. We're all different, right? It depends on you and your body and how your body responds and how well you take care. And you have already taken such great care of your body up to this point. So you're going to do fine. And here's the thing. These are ours, right? And that's going to come in closing. I'll share with you that part. And I'm going to drive it home. But right now, no. your fears are completely natural, right? We all had
Yeah.
those. How they're gonna look, how the scar's gonna look, you know, are my nipples gonna survive? You know, is it going to be a botched surgery? Right, we've seen them.
Right.
If you did your research, you've seen some pretty fucked up,
Yeah.
fucked up looking shit, right? And you're like, oh, I don't want that. But for me, it beat the alternative. It didn't matter. It would beat what I had to start with. So anything at that point, right? You don't want a mess, but I didn't want them either. So
Yeah.
you go. So you're worried about that. Those fears are completely natural, and we all have faced them. And if we've gone through top surgery, we have gone through that. So I'm here to ease that fear for you. You're still gonna have it until you get through it. But let me tell you, the morning of, you're going to be on this magical high, right? Take pictures, right? Take pictures before, and then during your. I have tons of pictures I could share with you and send to you and show you, because I needed that reminder, right? And somewhere down the road, someone will need that reminder, and so embrace it, enjoy that moment, because when you get to that hospital and you're gowned up, and your surgeon comes in there and he's gonna, or he or she's gonna draw it out on you. Just remember this: it'll be the last time you ever unveiled in that way. It will be the last time you will ever have that level of dysphoria from that part of your region of your body, right? So embrace it and know. I looked down and I took pictures after he got done drawing on me, and I wanted to remember that moment because it was intimidating and dysphoric, but at the same time I was on this high of, this is it. This is the last I'll see of these babies. Bye, Felicia's. See you later. So you will. And I know you had asked me about the anesthesia. And I went back and looked at my response to it, and it was kind of vague. I was sick that day. I don't do well under anesthesia. And they didn't give me a medication to prevent me from getting nauseous. And so I was sick the whole, I think I left the hospital maybe about 3 p.m. or somewhere in there. And I was sick till about 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. But then once the medication had worn off of me, my wife, Deborah, gave me one pain pill that I really didn't need, really. I was just feeling uncomfortable, and that made me nauseous more so. And I got sick again then. But then after that, I was fine. And the next day I was fine. But mine went down on a Friday. It was New Year's Eve. Imagine that.
Yes.
And so I didn't get my, if you're having yours done on a Friday too. So I'm not sure if they're going to look to uncover you until Monday or Tuesday of the following week. But a lot of guys go in there and they get theirs done today, and then tomorrow they're getting that cut off and they're getting a binder put on them or whatever. So I kind of feel good that I had the whole weekend bind it up really good. And it was you're gonna tell me about it next week, I promise you. By the weekend.
Just tells the story.
Yeah. So just know that when you're gonna wake up from it, you are gonna already feel changed, in that sense of more moving forward to your authentic truth, and that part's behind you. I'm so happy for you. So happy
Thank
for
you.
you, my brother. So that's a part. So what other concerns or questions or whatever you want to share about that part?
I think, just like I said, I think it's mainly the anesthesia, making sure I come out of the anesthesia okay. I don't like sick. I don't like nauseous. Talk to them about that prior, and they're gonna patches that go behind my ears.
Good idea.
Yep, to I guess alleviate the nausea that might. They said that sometimes when you have motion sickness,
Hmm.
you will become nauseous from anesthesia.
Yeah.
So I don't have motion sickness to a high degree. However, when I go deep sea fishing and the swalls are huge,
Right.
um, yeah, I get sick. But I keep fishing. That's just chunk. That's a whole other story.
Oh wow, you go deep sea fishing. I'm jealous. We That's a whole other story. But I love boats, and I grew up on one. You know, being from the Bayou, Louisiana, we grew up around water. We love it. Um,
Yep, yep.
so I'm
We'll talk
jealous.
today.
Jealous you get to go way out there, but you're all the way in California side, so
Yeah,
that is choppy water out there. Even
yeah.
when you're
So
close in. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I let them know that I do get sick if um, really motiony, and they said, "Don't worry about it. We'll give you this." And so that eased my mind about that, and I'm hoping that it works. And then, I think the main concern is getting out of anesthesia safely. Obviously, we're still in a COVID state in hospitals, so I can't wake up to
Right.
allow anybody in the waiting room or
Right.
anything.
They'll
They
be
said that
sitting out in their vehicle or something. Yep.
they're gonna wait in the vehicle and
Yep.
wheel me out and hand me over. So that's. Oops, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. You're fine.
But yeah, that's a little. I mean, it's important to come out okay, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I just want to make sure that I come out okay. But aesthetically, I'm still concerned. I'm concerned because my doctor has only performed 10 of these.
Okay. So let me ask you, did you look at all the pictures of all 10 of those he did or she did?
And that's another thing. Um, she wasn't able to provide any photos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Hold on a minute.
yeah,
I didn't come prepared for this. Um,
yeah, yeah. I wish I had more guidance um, in
okay.
what to do in that situation.
So did you go to her website and maybe see if there were any
Nothing,
reviews? She has nothing. Hmm.
nothing. And
But was she recommended to you from another doctor or from
yes,
HRT or?
she was referred to me by my psychiatrist, my therapist, and the referral went directly to her. Um,
Mm,
and being as new as I am at, knowing and understanding the process, I thought in my mind that it's kind of all I can go with. It was what I was told I could go with, and that's what I'm supposed to go with. That's what my insurance is paying for, and that's what I need to go with.
mm.
So I'm still weary, but at this point, here, and maybe this is where it's supposed to be.
Well, and let me just say this. There's a lot of doctors, right? And we are coming to uh, a, 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 that time in our history that uh, it's becoming more mainstream and more doctors are perfecting the art of these surgeries. We're not all cut up and mutilated like some people think we are. We're not. Our surgeries are much different, even though it is also considered double mastectomy. It's completely a different surgery. They're not taking tissue all the way to the and bone and lymph nodes and all that. They're taking the tissue that make up the breast. Okay, So it's not like they're chopping our chest and mutilating us. And a lot of times you see in breast cancer, folks, women, and some men, and that's because they have to go that deep. They have to, because the cancer's that deep, and so that's not our case. Know this, if I could ease your mind, if this surgery does somehow get botched, which I don't think so, but you have hope. There's other doctors who will take care of that and fix it, and your insurance has a duty, right, to take care of you, and that would be covered under that. And I'm sure if that doctor had a oops, and I'll to show you my oops, because I trust these people here, and I'm here to tell my story and show my authentic truth. And I'm getting ready to have a revision myself because of his oops. But he's an amazing surgeon. He's performed tons of these. It's just the way mine ended up healing or whatever. Maybe I reached. I don't know what happened. But he saw it. He didn't like it. And he says, I will fix it at no expense to you, because it's my job to make sure my work is perfect. And they're like sculptors, right? And we're their product, or we're their prize. And so know this, you're in good hands no matter how it turns out. And if you don't like it, your doctor has a duty to either perfect it or to pay to have it perfected, right? So I will show you, just because I want you to know. My camera's kind of up. Hold up. I don't want to show my whole body. Not that I'm not proud of it, because I am. Okay, so see the healing here? Pretty good. It's hard to see with the X cam. See, it's getting there. Now, I'm building it up, working out. But if you look at this one, you can see right here. Boom. It's got a N. And it's...
Oh, okay.
And see, I keloid, so he tried to make it so it would not keloid, but it keloid. Now, I want you to see something else. I have two flaps. I have a flap here that's kind of, it's hard to see with the way the light is. It's a flap. Okay. And a little bump. See that? So these are getting fixed. Boom. Those are getting fixed, my friend. Why? Because my surgeon is top of the line. That's what he's going to do for me. And that's his job and his duty, to make it perfect, because that's what we paid for. And it's our bodies. Now, so let that not be a big, huge fear for you, because at the end of the day, it's going to be perfect, no matter what. It's going to be yours. It's your scars. Right. It's your story. It's your body. It's who it comes into closing. I'll tell that part of my story about that. Right now, we're talking about you. We got into the questions and concerns and fears. You want to talk about what else? Anything else in that? Those are some heavy duty ones, but you got the nauseous one, the nausea out the way. And now we just talked about your doctor, that level of confidence in her being able to do this correctly. I would, if I were you, and I'm just going to put it out there, which I did with my doctor, is he took pictures before, and every time I walk in his office, it's like when you go to the dentist, they want to look at your teeth right away. As soon as you walk in his office, he says, take your shirt off, because he wants to look at his work. He wants to see, and he has followed me this whole almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years, New Year's Eve coming up. But every step of the way, every few months when I go to see him, he takes a look at it and he knows. I put the surgery off in August. Supposed to have it, or the revision, supposed to have it in next month, the 11th. But now I'm going to put that off again until February for other reasons. It just works out better for me. So I got to make that phone call sometime this week. Let them know. Give them enough time so that they don't hold the line, for me. Because I know the man's busy. He's Dr. Stephen Turkeltaub. And my suggestion, why I didn't even get to it, is please tell her, please start taking pictures today. Use me. And I want you to take these befores. Has she taken pictures of you yet?
She did.
Okay. And tell her to start building your portfolio, because if you want other clients and you want them to have a level of confidence in you, we want to see your work, right? And if it starts with me, then it starts with me. I'll be your protege. But know this, that I just did a podcast, and if it's botched, well, the world's going to know that too. Because we don't want anybody else coming out here and having, you know what I'm saying? We got a duty to protect too. So,
Exactly.
So knowing that, I would, and that's what Turkeltaub, and I told him, feel free to use my pictures if it helps to educate others. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. And even when I had some chub, I had a bunch of chub going on. I'd walk in there, and Savannah's like, "Okay, take your shirt off." I'm like, "Oh, you want to see my chub?" Don't mind the chub, little one. But that's how that works, right? So you could be the start of something for this doctor and help to educate her about the trans. Let them know about the dysphorias, about the concerns, about the fears, and of course about we need pictures. We need we need to have confidence in the person who's getting ready to chop up our body. We want to know what's happening, right?
Yeah, I'm putting a lot of confidence in her.
Yeah, you are. But that's okay. Like I said, there's fixes for everything. If as long as that's right. So I will be touching base with you this weekend for sure. And for sure when you get unveiled. Now that when you're going to go in, you think the day of your surgery is huge. It is. But let me tell you, the biggest day of this process is when they're going to take this off. When they're going to take the bandaging off. Because you're going to be stuffed like a pillow. You're going to be thick. I have to show you the video of when they cut layers of the stuff off of me. And they were real careful. And I'm like, damn, how much of this stuff you have on me? It felt like, it was puffy everywhere. But it's because I had all that on. And I'll tell you, I'll send you the video maybe tonight so you could kind of see what it looked like. And when I looked down and saw, I think the video and the picture spoke the whole story of the emotion of euphoria. We know what dysphoria feels like.
Yeah.
But in that moment, the euphoria I felt was immense. It was, wow, this is my chest. And then I think about my brothers. I thought about my older brother Drew, and I'm like, I have a chest like him. He's got that, wide, big, bulky, chest. And I was like, oh wow, it was amazing.
Whew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna feel great. You're gonna have those little bulbs on there. They're gonna stay on you. You're gonna have the 2 bulbs here off the side. You saw that scars. It's there. And I could do it. It's there. It tells its own story. But that's the one part that I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the most aggravating part of it, is having those little drain bulbs. Balls on the side, and you gotta empty, you gotta squeeze it out, clean it out, and you gotta measure it, and it's days and days until it's clear for X. I'm sure she prepared you for that. That's, to me, that's the pain in the ass part of it. And they had pulled one out and left one because, well, it was, you know, it was behind the times. Like this one was doing good, the other one wasn't. And then the day I was going to have it taken out, I showered, or I bathed, because I couldn't shower. I bathed, and I knew at some point my spongy caught it, and it kind of pulled. So I was like, oh hell, and then I get over to her, and she just kind of looked at it, and she said, oh, look up there for a second. I looked up, and she says, it was already out. I just had to snip this one little stitch holding it. I said, oh, that's what was aggravating me, and I could feel something like poking in my side every time I was driving up there, and I was like, dang, this is aggravating. Well, one little stitch was holding a little thing because I had already pulled. But you're also, this is going to be numb for a long time. I still have numbness almost 2 years. I am still numb in here. I just started getting a little bit of feeling around, you know, I could feel, obviously I could feel, but like feel on the inside, I still feel the numbness. You know, like when you're Novocaine on you, and you're touching it, you know you're touching it because you see your finger, but your gums don't feel it. That's what that feels like. Wow. Still almost 2 years. So I'm telling you, I hear people tell me about their pain, and I'm like, I had zero pain associated with this surgery. It was the easiest surgery I've ever had in my life, right?
Wow.
I had zero pain associated with this surgery.
Did you have a nerve blocker?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
So I know there were some guys who said they had pain. I don't know. Maybe my doctor just numbed the shit out of it to the point where, like I said, almost 2 years later, I still know where there's numbness. I know where, you know, I feel everything in here, but there's some spots that's still like here, still like Novocaine. You know, still waking up from the Novocaine. So, you know, rest easy with that. You know, a good surgeon is going to make sure you don't have little to no pain. So they'll make sure you have little to no pain associated with that. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
The pain will be the least you worry. The only thing you have to worry about is the nausea, coming out the nausea. Once you could get through that first day of the nausea, and it's at 10 o'clock in the morning, and surgery's, a couple of hours, and you should be home somewhere about 3-ish, like me, 4, maybe 3, 2:30. And then by that night, you'll be resting well. So I didn't need pain pills. I still got the bottle. I don't take medication. I don't like it. It makes me sick. I took Deborah gave me that one pill that night, and I threw it up. And I said, throw that stuff in the cabinet. I'm not going to use it. So you'll get through that. And like I said, no pain. So I was just excited and anxious for the bandaging to come off so I could see it with my own eyes. The swelling and everything, I didn't care. The bruising, be prepared, right? They're not easy. Let me tell you, they're not gentle. They're not gentle on you. Good to see this, but knuckle is streaming. Good to see this, but knuckle is streaming. Hi, and welcome to Matt Dupree's podcast. So that's what you have to look forward to, my friend.
Yeah,
and
I'm excited.
That's right, and you should be, and I'm excited for you. This is a boom. Now, I'm going to ask you, I think just before we're going to close here, I want to ask you about HRT. Is that something you are thinking about? Let me start here. We'll start with HRT, being I spit that out first. So let's talk about HRT, hormone replacement therapy, which I need to take. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's my shot day. I change it up from time to time. I got to. I like to. I like to mix it up some. It's strange things happen. Good things happen quicker when I do that. I find.
Love it.
I have my own little. It's probably a mental thing, but I do whatever. So let me ask you about that hormone replacement therapy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you are going through stages. Is there any particular way you starting with top surgery? So well, you started with your coming out story, then your top surgery, and then what's your next step from there?
Next step is the T. Getting with a doctor again, and I'll get the referral for that, and I will start a transition.
Let me. Sorry, I choked on my little smoky treat. The
No
eight.
worries.
Now you said about the excuse me, the eight. A doctor. Do you have a doctor?
I don't have the therapist any longer. He moved on from my insurance,
Uh,
so that's the reason I'm going to need another doctor.
do you guys have like endocrinologist or because those doctors, like I have Adelante Health here, and my doctor works out of there. She's also a friend of mine on Facebook, and a friend, motorcycle rider, that kind of thing. And she is able to write my letters. She gives me my tea. You know, she sends my prescriptions in. She does everything. And now she's just my primary everything. You know, she takes care of all my medical needs because I do trust her 100. Hashtag 100. Ha, my first one tonight. So I would suggest finding a doctor who can kind of do all those things for you. You know, and it may be because of where you are. You may have to have different doctors for, like I have specialists, right? But I have one primary who takes care of takes over whatever prescriptions they know I need. My doctors communicate. I got written letters that they could communicate to her what everything I need, so I don't have to see them and pay them more money when I could just see her. I
Makes
would,
sense.
yeah, and for your tea especially, you want to find someone who is on board first of all, and who is going to, you know, be there for all those aspects of your journey, right? So that's very critical in also part of your support network is in the center of that. You want that doctor right there because that doctor, he or she, is basically our lifeline, right?
Agreed.
Okay, so I would get on that. You know, let's get through this part, and then you're gonna be ready for that part. I mean, you looking at you, I would have assumed, right? And that's why I should never assume. I already assumed that you were probably on HRT because you are very masculine. You know, you have
Thank
that
you.
masculine look already. You know, good thick eyebrows. I don't have much weight up, but that's okay. That's genetics. You know, you do. You got the jaws, but know this: when you get on that HRT, you and I are going to be back here in about whenever those changes
Good.
start coming, right? And
Yeah.
everything changes. Your jaw, your face. You know, your features kind of get harder. If you notice, we kind of age. We kind of look like we age a little faster, right? Because we get harder. Our face gets harder and more masculine, male like. Um, Things we don't want to happen: hair loss. You know, either you're gonna lose it or you're not. You got a nice thick head of hair. Look at your brothers and your dad. Look at your mom's brothers and her father, and and then you'll kind of get an idea of where you're gonna be as far as hair wise goes, right? If they got a bald spot, well, you're probably gonna get one. If they lost all their hair, probably gonna have some hair loss. If they have a full head of hair, you're in good shape. So that's a good way to determine. I know I look at both of my brothers and I'm like, oh, one's got most all his hair. The younger one, the older one, he done lost his hair when he was younger. So it's a 50-50. Look at my mother's people, her dad, her brothers, they had hair, still have hair, the ones who's still alive. And then I look at my dad and his people, and not so much. So it just depends. We want that hair, but then we get it all over our bodies. It grows like crazy. like I try to keep this, I want this to be shaved, and then I just trim this at least once a week or so, and just kind of keep it, because I want it all to kind of blend. And now this mustache has gotten thicker, right? And then tomorrow I'll wake up and something else is going to be somewhere else, and it's going to be like, where'd that come from? Wait, it's almost like I know where to go for it. Like I wake up and somewhere in my subconscious mind, I realize, oh, I got new hair growth, thick as a wildebeest on my leg, my thigh, and it's sure enough, like, what's happening? So, my son told me the other day we were going to swim, and he said, whoa, he said, you got a lot of hair on your back. I'm like, shut up. So he says, yeah, but it's like a blondish color, so you're okay. I'm like, yeah, okay. Good stuff. It's just a change, and we have to embrace it, because had we been born in our natural, authentic life like we should have been, we couldn't determine, we couldn't have done it any other way. This is how it would have been. So I've come to learn to embrace. Yes, is my hair thinning? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Am I hating it? Yes, of course. Deborah's feeding me some little capsules, or gummies twice, 2 of them every morning. Supposed to be for your hair, not to lose hair, whatever. But hopefully it works. But we'll see. Otherwise, I keep it short and I color it. As long as I can hide it and get away with it.
That's right.
So you're going to go with HRT, your next step. You're going to check into that. Now, what about name change? Did you ever get has that been, because your name's Nick, but you want to, it's not a change name, it's just your natural name.
Yeah, that's the name. My name was Nicole. I was always called Nick or Nicky, so I didn't really have to go far from that.
That's great.
The family hasn't changed calling me Nick or Nicky. It's the same. Nobody uses the name Nicole. However, I do plan to go through a change. I want to go. I obviously want to change my middle name, and I want to change my first name. So currently on legal documents, I am Nicole Marie Marchetti, and I will be Nicholas Scott Marchetti.
Right. Those strong names right there.
There you go.
I like that. Really good. I love it. Cool. Nicholas. Yeah, so your name stays, which is great, right? Your initials, well, your initials might change, but that's okay. That's awesome. It's a lot. It's a process, right? It's a process in this journey. People think, you guys just go, grow some facial hair and chop your boobs off and you're fine. No, there's more to it, people. And it's stressful and it's expensive and it's time consuming, right? Hey, what's up? My brother's here. How you doing, Drew? My brother, the one with the chest I told you guys about. That I would look like him. That was him. That's him. There's so much. And then when you get to the name change, I had to go through it in the middle of COVID. And lucky, though, the one good lucky part of that fortunate part was that I did it on video. And I didn't have to go in a courtroom. So I was able to do video and with the judge and got that done. But it took time. It was a longer process because I had to wait longer than if I would have just filed it at the courthouse, go in person, and boom, you're done. Then you go right downstairs and you get your name, other documents changed, your passport and all that stuff. Go to Social Security, you get that done. No, we were during COVID. and everything had to been done online. It was more expensive for my social security. It took a long time. Then I had to go get my name changed or my driver's license. It was everything. It was so slow and took forever, and then cost, right? Everything has a cost. So hopefully you won't have to go through that hard or long of a process that I did. But again, mine happened in 2020 in the smack dab in the middle of COVID, and you know, that's what that was about.
Yeah. Challenge. Different challenge.
Yeah, and I'll be with you every step of the way, Nick. You know I'm here for you. Any questions you may have in any part of this journey that I've ventured through so far, I'm always here and ready to help, or willing to help and give advice or direction if I can, to get you to the places a lot easier, and try to help you navigate to those places a lot easier than I had to. When you do get your name change and you submit that paperwork to the courts, make sure you request your gender ID marker as well. They're going to tell you that's going to be no big deal here. You'll have to deal with that at your license place, but we will note it. We'll note it. You want that because you go to your driver's license place and you take that court order document with you, and you make sure, because it's easy to be excited in the moment of seeing your new name, your rebirth on paper.
Yeah.
You may forget, hey, my gender marker ID needs to be changed as well, and they know what to do. So all you got to tell them, and they'll correct it in their system from F to M, and then you're gonna match.
Okay. Excellent.
Exciting stuff. That's in store for you. I'm so excited for you for Friday. I'm excited to hear from you over the weekend, even if it's a text with a thumb up. I don't care. To let me know you're okay. Even Friday, I'm always available. You could catch me anytime. You have my number. Just let me know you're okay, and that you won't know anything, won't be able to see anything until a few days after. And even then, it's going to be very unclear how it came out, because again, you're going to have swelling and you're going to have bruising. They're not easy, they're not gentle. But know within a reasonable amount of time, you'll be able to know how well everything came out. I have all the confidence in the world that something higher is watching over you, my friend, and it's going to be there with you. Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Nick, thank you. I know it's getting late, and I thank you for your time and for wanting to come out here to help educate people and to share your journey right here in the moment of it, right? We're 3 days away. Thank you, Drew.
Yes.
We are 3 days away from your big day.
Exactly.
And it is a big day. It's your rebirth, and I am so thankful and so proud to be able to be here with you on this journey, my friend. So in closing, Nick is no different from me. I went on a mission to figure out myself and my life, and what was the best path for me to take in the process of living authentic, living out loud. I myself reached out to other FTMs, female to males, who were going through their journeys, who were also figuring it out as they went along. Building these relationships are important, and to be available to help each other through the process only strengthens our bonds and those bonds. I have an overwhelming need to help our trans community, not only by bringing about understanding to those unfamiliar, but unfamiliar with our community, but more. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. I lost my little spot. Imagine that. I lost my spot. But more so for our trans brothers and sisters who are trying to figure it out, who may not know that they have options, the resources available to them, and that they can live a long, healthy, and authentic life after transitioning. We no longer have to be imprisoned in the body we did not get to choose for ourselves. It will not be perfect. Let me be honest with you guys. We will forever carry the scars from ripping out the old to become anew. But wear those scars proudly, my brothers and sisters, because they beat defeat. They are part of our rebirth, and they are ours. And the very thing that reminds us we have arrived alive. Until next time, folks, be kind and stay safe and healthy. I'm Matt, and this is Nick, and we are out.